Hello, hello, hello. Hello, yeah. How's your move? Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing. One, two, three. Okay. Sounds not good. Excuse me. Uh,
Testing a 1, 2, a 3. Should be good now, huh? Yeah. See, I got you. I got you. Hope you don't mind the sunrise. Hey, good morning, Sunny. Need to eat an apple too. Do you mind? Right on, Jan. Yeah, that means beer prices are going up, huh? Actually, no. I guess for local, they're going down. Cool. Do you live in Prague, Jen? Yeah, beautiful town. Don't eat the seafood on a Tuesday. That's all I have to say. I'll never make that mistake again. All right, so because they fly it in on Wednesdays. Yeah. Hey, is the Pearl of Prague still in business? It's the yeah, it's it's a restaurant made out of glass. It's a glass building right along the river there, um, and it's made in the shape of Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dancing, and the glass dress kind of goes out over the street. I was there in the rip roaring '90s. It's fantastic. One of the best meals of my life for sure. Yeah, that was back in the day when I remember it's like the nicest restaurant in Prague, And we get there early, decide to have some cocktails. I'm like, yeah, I'll have a whiskey and Coke. And they didn't know how to make it. Yeah, yeah, Jed. So we had cocktails on the roof for like a half an hour, and they brought up appetizers and stuff. It was one of those times when I'm sure the local people hated all these foreigners being paid in U.S. dollars back in the '90s, but they're like, we want cocktails on the roof. They're like, sir, we don't have a place on the roof. Well, we want it on the roof anyways. But it was one of those, like, it had to be like a 15 or 20 course meal. Just absolutely amazing. But yeah, that building's awesome, huh? So, anyways, I guess we got to get going. Finally, I had browser problems up here. Looks like it's gonna work. Is it gonna work or not? Trying to get CNBC running. There we go. There we go. Hello, CNBC. Oh, let me check it out. Perla. All right. Of course, Jan, maybe it's the other building shaped as Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dancing. Galerie. What? No. What? No. 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 This is nothing like that. Oh, the building. Oh, I see. Actually, it's right, right. Let's see if that brings it up. I'm not going to be able. Oh, yeah, Google Map. Le Perle Prague. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. So I had drinks at the top of this building. Pretty fantastic. And hung out here on this little patio. So this is supposed to be their hand, where Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, he's holding her hand. They're dancing. This is her dress coming out over the road. Yeah, one of the best meals of my entire life. You gotta see it with the river, though. That's not that nice. A little better. Yeah. So, anyways, it's a unique piece of architecture for sure. Yeah. But it was one of these things where you had sorbet in between the salad and the soup and stuff like that. You know, where they had like a cheese and nut cart, right? And then they brought out, so you had the cheese and the nuts, and then they brought out port wine and Cuban cigars. And then they brought out chocolate cake, and like it just got better and better and better. It's fantastic. But yeah, the funny thing is, the Czech Republic is like the center of the universe for beer. And again, I've had some of my best, most memorable beers in the Czech Republic. One in Pelzen, for example. I can tell you the exact moment I had that beer. But I'm in this restaurant, the fanciest restaurant in town. You know, like literally the meal costs like this a person's annual salary. You know, that kind of thing. But the first cocktail where I had up on the roof, ordered uh, a whiskey and Coke, right? They look at me. I'm like, yeah. Do you have Crown Royal? Do you have Canadian whiskey? I'm like, oh, just whiskey and Coke. They're like, So 5 minutes later, they bring a highball glass, right? It's like I don't know, 6 inch tall glass filled all the way to the top with whiskey and a can of Coke. I'm like, oh my god, it's like a half a bottle of whiskey. But like they had it, they just no one in the Czech Republic at that time would order a whiskey and Coke. But it's beer. People drink beer, and that was it. So that was another memorable moment. Have a whiskey and Coke. Yeah. So, anyways. All right, Prague. Yeah, everyone should go to Prague. Just treat it with respect. Don't be an ugly tourist. All right. All right. So where are we in the world? I guess we got to start. Oh, you know what? The whole time I was showing you pictures, and I don't think you could see it. How funny is that? Sorry, guys. Yeah, once again, I absolutely hate Windows. It's gotten so bad. Here's a brand new computer, nothing installed, and it doesn't function. And it's Windows. It's Windows problem. It's nothing else. So, anyways, it's struggling to do this. So, Firefox is not responding. All right, close the program. And I see your comment, but that is what I'm doing here. I don't do anything else on this PC except MT4 and the webinar. That's it. I have nothing else. Yeah, but I had Windows 7 problems too, very similar. Turns out it's very often has to do with Adobe not working well with the browsers. Right, so I got to reload everything. Yeah, but that's what this is, Ed. This is a brand new PC. I pulled Windows 10, like I pulled the machine out of the box, plug it in, and it doesn't boot. It can't run the 16 screens. So I finally work on that for a long time. And now it's got this wonderful problem. If it falls asleep, right, it can't wake up. No, but it's not the machine. It's Windows. And you get Windows taskbar problems and stuff. This is a brand new machine. But anyways, all right. So I think we're good here. Good enough, right? Let me just click the start button. Let's just go. Yeah, reset the BIOS, or even I've had to update the BIOS, not on this, but on a previous machine. Like, that's so beyond what most people can do. All right. So, anyways, let's just get going. Let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. La 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 la. So tomorrow is non-farm payrolls. So I'll be at FX Street tomorrow. Coffee's great. So, anyways, good morning. My name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for Traders Way. Thank you for being a client. I'm here for you every single day, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. New York time, which is approximately London lunch, a couple of hours before the New York session starts. I'm here to answer questions, be your guide, do technical and fundamental analysis, all that kind of stuff. However, tomorrow's a special day. I'm at fxstreet.com for Trade Non-Farm Payrolls Live number. Is it my 11th anniversary tomorrow for doing that webinar? It's pretty close. But anyways, so I'll see you over there tomorrow. Thank you for being a client. If you're not a client, please visit tradersway.com and open an account. 132, huh? Seems pretty reasonable. Okay. Desktop. Okie dokie. Let's start with Aussie yen. How funny is that? So yesterday we had it, bouncing up and retracing back to the weekly central.
something else that does that button. Does that button. Oh, that's all right. All right. How about that? Do you see Ozzy in there? Oh, it shows the wrong light. One second. All right, well, the browser says it's running off my cover. All right, it's supposed to be good. All right, it's supposed to be good. So the browser says it's good, it's probably right. But not. No.
Well, now what? Every browser has got something different going on with it. So frustrating. Microphone defaults over here. Oh, now it's working? Really? Well, what do you know about that? How very exciting. I'm just going to turn the recording off. All right. So we're out here on our own. All right. So anyways, going back to the Aussie yen, we talked Monday and then Tuesday and then Wednesday about the potential reversal heading back to the weekly central. It started, kicked off the weekly pivot point. What a coincidence. Right? Came back down and now has double bottomed. So everyone that was bearish has to be no longer bearish, at least at the moment. And bulls need to be playing this to the upside, right? So this is where if you didn't buy the double bottom, then you need to buy the 1, 2, 3. You may have already gotten it down in here, so it depends on how aggressive you are. You should be buying dip now if you're a bull. Okay. So that shows potential yen weakness since the Aussie's been so weak for so long. Okay. You can see here Tuesday, I have this pointing down. I don't know if you can tell, but the 786 is up high. The 423 is down low. The 2618 is down low. So I have this pointing down. This is a 4-hour chart. So what's happening is we're attacking the low and bending and flattening these moving averages on the higher time frame. You can also see identified support and resistance for you. And sure enough, it came up to the high resistance, came down to the support, and has moved back up. It's had some tests and stuff, but it may be bending. Okay. On the 1-hour chart, you can see we were riding the 21, and now the 55 is in control, and now that ending. We should be on our way to the 200, which is back to this old support. Then one more lower high, and then a lower low back to the central. Okay, that's if you want the no key to strengthen and or dollar to weaken. I think for the no key to increase in value, you're going to need to see higher oil prices. So looking at oil, okay. So yesterday we challenged the weekly R1. So let me zoom in here a little bit. What an amazing coincidence we got within what is this 2 cents. We got within pennies of weekly R1, and then it immediately dropped. Amazing coincidence, huh? Within 2 pennies of the weekly resistance pivot. Well, great. So now what are you looking for? Now, I believe some of you guys called the 52, right? You called the 52 as a sell zone, so you got it. And I said the next one higher up is a little bit closer to 53, right? 52.70 and then 52.83. So this 73.83 cents, up in here is even bigger. But, maybe back down in here. Now remember, as we get closer and closer to June, I think one of these oil rallies will stick, and we'll move our way back up to kind of the $60 barrel again. Just the ebb and flow, but also peak oil inventories and stuff like that is usually part of my analysis, part of my alpha. The next real resistance is beyond that is basically 54.5, 55, and that is the monthly R, monthly R1. Gold. I have gold off of resistance, which I identified for you based on going farther back, in fact, right? Yeah, all the way back to here. So zooming in, I think on, was it yesterday or no, Tuesday? On Tuesday, again, you can see the touch here. Now let me zoom in. Okay. Drop, pullback, sweet spot, down. Right? So can you see how if you're day trading or even scalping, I mean, these are hourly candles, so it doesn't have to be a scalp. But this was clearly an obvious level of resistance, right? Going all the way back to February. Okay. And so going into that zone, you're thinking, maybe it'll reverse, maybe it'll reverse, maybe it'll reverse, maybe it'll reverse. And then you get a bearish engulfing road kind of setup, right? I mean, somewhere in here you must yourself, I think it's reversed, right? Somewhere in here. And it did fall from 60 to 43. So let's just say 15 bucks. Okay. And now it's double topped off that sweet spot. So maybe the higher time frame guys are trying to sell it. Okay. So how are they looking at it? Right? Looks like we're on our way maybe this month to get down to 20, 12, 20. Oh, hey, Ryan, while I have you here, I will be available on the 22nd at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sorry about that. Oh, you finally got your tongue pierced? Awesome, dude. Congratulations. I know you've been really looking forward to that for many years. Yeah, just gotta go for it. No, you're pretty brave to do it yourself. That's for sure. What do they say? All you need is an ice cube, a needle, and a potato. Is that right? So, anyways, gold. Yeah, doesn't it seem like we're stuck right now? Like it's a trader's market right now more than an investor's market. We're in trades for 12 hours or less. So we're kind of income based stuff right now, huh? The nice thing about eating rabbit stew is the steaks taste better when you get them. But like the Buddhists say in Tibet, life is suffering until you invest in Chinese real estate. It's a very, very old. Goes back forever. Um, yeah. So here we are, hit the weekly target. Look at that, riding a big old fat 21. But are you going to treat it like a double top, I guess is the question. We're in a profit zone, right? You guys notice something here? Do you see the Monday setup? Where are my swing traders? Right? You see this? I mean, it's within 1 pip accuracy. And remind yourself, it's not just the price, it's the time where you walk to your computer at a precise moment, precise to the minute, and then click, and you're like, boom, O, M, right? M2, done. Lufletulumum, right? Now, I think what I said on Monday is, you're still going to have to expect a challenge here, and it did. These, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles. 20 hours is a bit of time, right? Breakout, pullback, retest. But now, is it over? Yeah, probably, or you're buying it at the 21. But that's you got to be very aggressive to just do that. Ignore the pivots and just the moving averages only, right? If if you looked at this and you did something like that, you sold the 21 only because it's moving average and you ignored the pivots. It didn't work out here, right? Don't you feel bad for all the traders that just would have sold this, and sold this because of this giant bearish engulfing candle? And they just sold it and 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 sold it. So, anyways, yeah, wonder what'll happen now. Okay. Part of that ebb and flow, it's gone up all, so maybe it's time for it to go down. Peter says, would they be looking at gold's dip as opposed? Maybe. USD yen. Zoom in here. And, we've done nowhere on this, huh? Just hanging, huh? Well, it means they're either both strong or they're both weak. That's all it means. Okay. So the question is this a buy zone for you? Play the higher high, maybe? 618, weekly M2. See, 618, weekly M2. If you're a bull and it ain't falling, maybe you need to get ready, right? What do you think? Right? This is meaningless on this time frame. Okay? Maybe it's still bearish on this time frame. Well, then you still need to sell it way up here, right? If you're a bear, still a sell up there. But if you're a bull, there's not too many other places really to think. Yeah, I mean, you can see the weekly support 786. The 786 shows weakness. So this is really where a bull would prefer to head up. And even if you're a bear, you're like, man, I hope the bulls buy it so you can dump it up here. So it's something. For me, I'm a long-term bear, so whatever. I have this pointed up. This being a sweet spot for bulls. Oh yeah. So this is the bullish area, right? Monthly central. That's right. I remember this now. Monthly central, support, 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 higher high. So you hammock the thing, find your sweet spot, and drive it up. Bears already sold it. And I hate second touches. If I sold it on Monday, I don't want to have to sell it again on Thursday or Friday. You know what I mean? But Bears already sold this, and this should just be a fib down, right? Fib on your way down to the target. And NFP is going to drive this into your target, and you're done. Is the idea, right? Can you guys see it? So Bear has it, right? 50% retracement shouldn't scare a bear. Is there, right? So you're actually preparing for your second trade on this, and that's your plan, Stan, right there. Well, right? Lower low, lower low. Why not another lower low? Just depends if you're a bull or a bear. And of course, the charts shouldn't ever really tell you that. The charts just tell you overbought and oversold. And I'll be gone, gone tonight. Ground beneath my feet open wide. Where I keep on holding on so tight, nothing in between. You guys know that song? What? You don't know your One Direction? Taught myself how to play that song on the guitar for my daughter. All right. Amazing coincidence. Okay. Looking for my drawing tool. Okay. The top of the market for Great British Pound just happens to be a double top precisely at the weekly M3. The target on such a situation is down here, which just happens to be precisely M1. Because that happened early in the week, the counter trend trade, which I teach, says precisely weekly central pivot. Now the market is sort of indifferent. It's not really bullish. It's not really bearish. But isn't that cool? That's in the swing trading course, isn't it, guys? Sell there Sunday night, buy it back Tuesday morning, target for later in the week. I mean, it's uncanny, huh? Isn't it? I mean, I think. So we're looking at almost 140 down to 137. So, that's 250 pips down, and then 137 back to 139. So it's 250 pips down, 200 pips up, 100 pips down. I mean, for a lot of people, that's a good month, isn't it? How many people are happy with a 400 pip month? Yeah. Well, here's a 400 pip week, except the week isn't, we're only looking at one currency pair. Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're predictable, right? Coolio. So what do you do now? Well, we're not really at hardcore support or resistance, are we? So maybe that's it. If you sold here, jam your stop, right? And hopefully it makes a lower low for you. But I think the closer we get to NFP, the more that it's going to be affected by NFP, right? Which very often means it can move because people are getting out of the trade, not getting in. You've been living underground, eating from a can. You've been running away because you don't understand counter trend. Yeah, so if people get out of trades, you can see the market move. And amateurs very often confuse red candles or green candles with buying and selling. The red candles could be not buying. Green candles could be not selling. It could be going up, but not necessarily because people are buying it. Euro yen, ginormous bottom. Uh-huh. It's not quite a J-Lo, but it is a ginormous bottom. just happens to be a monthly support pivot right there. Huh. That's another amazing coincidence. Whale oil B, MR fish. Yes, Peter. Peter, they are the midpoint between support and resistance pivot points. Now, in this case, when I say it's an, right, the M here is monthly support 1. Okay. Sometimes I'm talking about M2. Well, I might be talking about weekly M2. I might be talking about monthly M2. I might be talking about daily M2. So in this case, this line here is a monthly M2. Down here, monthly support 1. But the funny thing is, like, what day is it? It's the 6th? Yeah, it's the 6th. So on the 6th, on the 6 days ago, so right in here, okay, these levels we knew would be important to us as traders this month. Okay, so that's why it's very helpful, and that's why I'm pointing it out. It's like there's only one monthly support pivot that you can see here. There's only one on this chart. Monthly support pivot. There's only one, and it's right here. Right? Clearly impacting the flow of the market, right? Now, monthly M2. So the first M is monthly, so MM2, right? First M is monthly. But the second is M2. Now, what M2 is, okay, is you take monthly support 1, so you add that number, support 1. Wow, browser is slow. Holy smokes. You take the value, right, 117.38, okay, and then you take the value of the central pivot, okay, the value of the central pivot is 120.13. So you take 120.13, add 120.38, add those two together, right? And then divide them by 2. Okay. Now I'm a genius, so I can just do this calculation in my head. You add them together and divide it by 2, and you get 118.757, right? 118.757. Yeah, I'd like to be accurate within 3 digits, just I'm a genius. And that's the formula. And that, right, that gives you the monthly M2. All right, that's the formula for the monthly M2. Central pivot point plus S1 is the first support pivot. Add those together, divided by 2. Now, being a genius, all I did was look at the value of the monthly M2, and that's how I get the 118.757. Okay, so it's the midpoint, the M, the second M now. So the first M is monthly, midpoint 2 is the between the first support pivot and the central, and it's the midpoint because it's the middle. Okay, so if you want an MM1, you got to look at the distance between S1 and S2. Add those two together, divided by 2, and you get that. Right. Right. Quite right. Quite right. Now look at how the market's behaved here. These green areas and red areas are weekly pivots. This is the bullish target. We hit the bullish target, right? Look how when it hits these areas, it really halts. Really halts these flows. So not only are sophisticated investors using monthly pivots, they're also using weekly pivots. Okay. Now these are counter trend trades, right? So I just taught a swing trading. So those guys to counter trend trade in these scenarios, and they seem to be working. Uh-oh, where's my mouse? Lost my mouse. Maybe the PC's frozen. I'll see. Oh, found it. So anyways. So some beautiful trade setups. Unfortunately, lots of them are counter trend. But what are you going to do, huh? Same thing here, like some of the other currency pairs. We knew on Monday to look for the counter trend. This is try to double bottom and go up. The interesting thing about that is if it does go up, it's no longer a retracement, right? But a double bottom at support becomes a reversal, doesn't it? And are you guys okay with this setup here with the ribbons and the moving averages? I just don't have the 5X and stuff, but you know, is it really that necessary? I feel like in my old age, I need less and less decisions. You don't like them? Ryan doesn't like them. Wow, you guys hate it, huh? Wow, that's resounding. That's easy on the eyes, isn't it? Yeah, you could turn the candles on. Oh well, what it means is you should be selling below the ribbons. You'd be like an idiot to buy into falling ribbons, right? Now the next question is when it does reverse, why does it reverse? And so we might be missing information here, right? And so to put this back, why did it reverse? Oh, because of the pivot. See, people didn't know that. So let's go back to how you used to trade. Okay, here we go. Here's how you used to trade. Did you predict that this was going to reverse? Oops, I guess you don't need to. I'll put it there. Is that predictable to you? That it's just going to fall and pop, and then pop. Okay. It's horrible to trade like that, huh? Where you just how could you be successful? Remember those days, guys, when you just didn't know the future? I mean, it's so much more difficult if you don't know the future, right? Yeah. Ben likes the rainbows, huh? Hey, Ryan, did I give you my my indicator that looks at the fib levels for the day and closest psych levels and yesterday's high, yesterday's low? You know which indicator that is? No? I've given it to a few people. I don't have it on this PC. I had a template for day trading. Must have given it to somebody. I can't think of who. I gave it to a lot of people. Yeah, maybe. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's call it a day, and I'll see you tomorrow over at FX Street. Yeah. Make sure you guys register for that. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a wonderful day, huh? Sorry for all the tech problems. I guess what probably needs to happen is I need to update all my browsers and update Adobe and all that crap. So, cheers.